how to stop stress from stealing your peace. Let me start by saying this clearly. Stress is not just something you feel. It's something that steals from you. It steals your sleep. It steals your joy. It steals your focus. And if you're not careful, it will steal your peace while you're busy trying to fix everything else. Here's the truth many people don't realize. Peace is not automatic. Peace is intentional. We live in a world that constantly demands more. More speed, more results, more perfection. And if you're waiting for life to calm down before you have peace, you're going to be waiting a long time. Because peace doesn't come from a problem-free life. Peace comes from a well-guarded mind. Some of us are stressed not because life is too hard, but because we are trying to control things we were never meant to control. We replay conversations. We worry about tomorrow. We stress over things that haven't even happened yet. And let me tell you something important. Worrying does not prepare you for tomorrow. It only drains you today. You don't have the power to fix everything, but you do have the power to choose how you respond. When you stop fighting what you can't change, you make room for peace to show up. Another big reason stress steals our peace is our thoughts. Your mind is like a doorway. Whatever you allow in will eventually take over the room. If you constantly think, what if it goes wrong? Your heart will live in fear. If you constantly think, I can't handle this, your strength will shrink. But when you choose better thoughts, thoughts of trust, hope, and gratitude, peace begins to rise. You may not control every thought that comes to your mind, but you do control which ones you let stay. And let me say this clearly. You were not created to live overwhelmed. Peace is your responsibility. That means setting boundaries. That means learning to say no without guilt. That means resting without apology. That means understanding that taking care of yourself is not selfish, it's necessary. Peace is not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. Some days you'll do great. Some days you'll struggle. And that's okay. What matters is that you don't surrender your peace to stress again and again. So today, make this decision. I will not let stress run my life. I will choose peace even when things aren't perfect. I will guard my thoughts, manage my reactions, and trust the process. Because when you protect your peace, you protect your joy, your health, your purpose, and your future. And stress. Stress only has the power you give it. Choose peace. Every single day. Stress doesn't just show up quietly and ask for permission. It forces its way in and starts taking things that matter most. It steals joy by making even good moments feel heavy. It steals energy so you wake up tired and go to bed exhausted, even when you haven't done much physically. It steals clarity, causing your thoughts to race in circles until simple decisions feel overwhelming. And most of all, it steals peace, the inner calm that allows you to think clearly, rest deeply, and live fully. Peace is valuable, yet many people give it away without realizing it, handing the keys to stress and allowing it to control their emotions, their reactions, and even their health. Stress often disguises itself as responsibility. It convinces you that if you worry enough, plan enough, or think hard enough, you can prevent everything from going wrong. But stress is a terrible manager. It pushes urgency without wisdom and pressure without direction. It keeps your mind stuck on problems instead of solutions and drains your strength before the real challenge even arrives. The more you allow stress to run your thoughts, the more power it gains until peace feels distant and unreachable. What makes stress so dangerous is how normal it has become. People wear it like a badge of honor, believing that being constantly overwhelmed means they are productive or important. But living in constant tension is not a sign of strength. It is a signal that something is out of balance. Peace was never meant to be a luxury reserved for perfect circumstances. It is meant to be protected just like your time, your health, and your purpose. Every time you replay worst-case scenarios in your mind, stress takes a little more ground. Every time you refuse to rest because you feel guilty, stress tightens its grip. And every time you try to control what is beyond your reach, stress grows louder while peace grows quieter. Stress feeds on fear and uncertainty, but it weakens when you choose trust, perspective, and intentional calm. You may not be able to stop stressful situations from appearing, but you can stop letting them move in and rearrange your life. When you recognize stress as a thief instead of a helper, you begin to guard your thoughts more carefully, respond instead of react, and value peace as something worth defending, something too precious to surrender to constant pressure, endless worry, and the exhausting need to have everything figured out all at once. You can't control everything that happens in life, and trying to do so is one of the fastest ways to lose your peace. Many people are stressed not because their situation is impossible, but because they are fighting reality instead of responding wisely to it. Life will bring unexpected delays, disappointments, and changes no matter how prepared you are. When you believe peace comes from having everything go your way, stress will always stay close because life rarely follows a perfect plan. The real power you have is not over circumstances, but over your response. You get to decide whether a problem will push you into panic or pull you into purpose. You get to choose whether a setback becomes a source of frustration or a moment of growth. Stress increases when you react emotionally to every challenge, but peace grows when you pause, breathe, and choose a thoughtful response. Reacting gives stress control, while responding gives you control. Many people waste energy worrying about outcomes they cannot change. They replay conversations, regret past decisions, and fear future possibilities. This constant mental noise keeps the body tense and the mind exhausted. When you release the need to control every detail, you make room for calm and clarity. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It means understanding where your responsibility ends and where trust must begin. When you learn to respond instead of react, you stop letting temporary situations dictate your permanent state of mind. You slow down, think clearly, and act intentionally. Stress loses its grip when you stop feeding it with panic and urgency. Peace grows when you remind yourself that not everything requires an immediate emotional reaction. Some things require patience, wisdom, and time, and choosing that response protects your inner calm, even in the middle of uncertainty. Your thoughts are powerful, and they shape the atmosphere of your life more than any external circumstance. Stress often begins as a single thought that is left unchecked, allowed to grow and multiply until it overwhelms your emotions. A negative thought repeated often enough becomes a belief, and that belief begins to influence your decisions, your mood, and your sense of peace. What you think about consistently will eventually feel true, even when it isn't. Many people allow their minds to dwell on fear, failure, and worst-case scenarios without realizing the cost. The mind was never designed to carry constant anxiety. When your thoughts are filled with pressure and doubt, your body responds with tension and fatigue. Peace cannot thrive in a mind that is constantly under attack. This is why learning to manage your thoughts is essential to managing stress. You may not be able to stop negative thoughts from appearing, but you do not have to agree with them or give them space to stay. Every thought must be examined, not automatically accepted. When you challenge fearful or hopeless thinking, you weaken stress at its source. Replacing destructive thoughts with calm, truthful ones restores balance and clarity. The mind becomes a place of refuge instead of a battlefield. When your thoughts are steady, your emotions follow. You become less reactive, more confident, and more grounded. Stress loses its power when it can no longer dominate your thinking. Peace grows as you train your mind to focus on what is true, helpful, and within your control, creating an inner environment where calm can exist even when life feels demanding and uncertain. Peace is not something you achieve once and then keep forever without effort. It is something you choose again and again, often in small, quiet moments that no one else sees. Many people think peace will come when life slows down, when problems are solved, or when everything finally feels stable. But life rarely stays calm for long, and waiting for perfect conditions only keeps peace out of reach. Stress takes advantage of this mindset by convincing you that rest and calm can be postponed until everything is done, even though everything is never truly done. Daily peace requires intentional habits. It shows up when you decide to pause instead of rushing, to breathe instead of panicking, and to rest without feeling guilty. Stress grows when your life is filled with constant pressure and no recovery time. Peace grows when you create space, even if that space is small. A few quiet moments, a clear boundary, or a deliberate slowdown can interrupt the cycle of stress before it takes over your emotions. Consistency matters more than intensity. One peaceful day followed by weeks of exhaustion will not protect your well-being. Peace is built when you repeatedly choose healthy rhythms, balanced priorities, and realistic expectations. Many people are stressed because they expect themselves to function like machines, pushing past limits and ignoring warning signs. The body and mind were not designed for nonstop strain, and peace cannot survive where exhaustion is ignored. Letting go of unnecessary pressure is part of practicing peace. This means accepting that you cannot do everything, fix everything, or please everyone. Stress thrives on unrealistic expectations, while peace grows in honesty and self-awareness. When you allow yourself to be human, to make mistakes, and to take breaks, you remove stress's constant leverage over your emotions. Practicing peace also means paying attention to what drains you and what restores you. Some conversations, environments, and habits quietly increase stress without you realizing it. Choosing peace may require change, whether that is adjusting your schedule, protecting your time, or stepping away from constant noise and comparison. These choices may feel uncomfortable at first, but they create stability and clarity over time. Peace becomes stronger when it is treated as essential rather than optional. Each day presents opportunities to either feed stress or nurture calm. When peace becomes a daily priority, stress loses its dominance, your mind becomes clearer, and your life begins to feel more balanced, grounded, and manageable even when challenges continue to appear. Peace begins with recognizing that it is something you are allowed to have, not something you must earn after exhausting yourself. Many people live as if peace is a reward for finishing everything on their to-do list, solving every problem, and meeting every expectation placed on them. This way of thinking keeps stress in control because there is always something unfinished, something unresolved, or someone who wants more. When peace is postponed, stress quietly becomes the default state of living. One of the most practical ways stress steals peace is through the inability to set boundaries. Saying yes to everything may look like kindness or responsibility, but it often leads to resentment, fatigue, and emotional overload. When you do not protect your time and energy, stress fills every open space. Peace requires courage, because sometimes it means disappointing others in order to remain healthy and whole yourself. Choosing peace may look like slowing down, stepping back, or letting go of obligations that drain more than they give. Rest is another area where stress exerts control. Many people feel guilty for resting, as if slowing down means falling behind. But rest is not weakness, it is wisdom. Without rest, the mind becomes foggy, emotions become fragile, and stress becomes louder. Peace grows when you give yourself permission to pause, to breathe, and to recover without constantly explaining or justifying your need for it. Stress also feeds on comparison. When you measure your life against others, peace quietly slips away. You begin to feel behind, inadequate, or pressured to keep up with standards that were never meant for you. Peace returns when you focus on your own path, your own pace, and what is realistic for your season of life. Comparison creates pressure, while acceptance creates calm. Gratitude plays a powerful role in protecting peace. Stress focuses on what is missing, what is wrong, and what could go badly. Gratitude shifts attention to what is present, what is working, and what is already good. This shift does not deny challenges, but it prevents them from dominating your emotional landscape. When gratitude becomes a habit, stress loses its ability to magnify every difficulty. Peace is strengthened through small, consistent choices that align your life with balance rather than burnout. Each time you choose rest over overworking, clarity over chaos, and presence over pressure, you reinforce peace as a way of living rather than a temporary feeling that depends on circumstances lining up perfectly.